So today I'm going to be transforming raw images such as this into this, into this, and giving you my exact process. So stick around, let's get into it. Now everyone has obviously their own methods, but if you've never done this before, I'm going to show you exactly how I do this through a program called Capture One, which you can get free in the link below. But the same concepts apply to any other photo editing software that you may use. Now, I really like to keep my edits as natural looking as possible, so stick around, and if you enjoy videos such as this, then grab a coffee, relax, let's do it. So we're going to open up our photo editing software, and I'm going to just show you what we're going through. I'm going to start with this one because it is A, my favorite waterfall, and B, probably the hardest one to edit. So this is my process. Now first, I want to adjust the Kelvin, which is right here, and I'm going to change that to 5000 just to give it that warmer look. And secondly, it's not very straight, is it? So we're going to straighten up the picture just to there. That looks good. And now we have a nice base to work with. So I always just go with the base adjustments first, including contrast, which I normally bring up around 10. You don't want to go too much because it's going to do that. So 10 is the way to go, generally speaking. Next, we bring our shadows up just to bring some clarity back into the bottom of the waterfall, and we want to adjust the highlights down to about 80-ish, just to give those trees back some of their structure. Next, we're going to just adjust the blacks ever so minutely and give it a little bit of clarity and structure, just to even it up. Now, we can see before and after. So already there's a massive difference there. But that's not the end of it, because if it was, then this would be a very, very short video. But we're going to aim for under 10 minutes. Let's see if we can do this. I really want to try. Okay, continuing on. Now, I do want to bring back the sunrise, which was here. You wouldn't believe it, but it was actually sunrise. And I'm going to bring back some of the golden color in the sky. And so I did a gradient mask, and I'm going to adjust the luma range and just bring it down just enough to cover the mist and the mist only, and maybe a bit of the tree. So that looks good just there. Next, I'm going to bring up the Kelvin on this. So let's just bring it all the way up. This is going to be the biggest change to the photo. So that looks about right there. I'm going to leave it like that. Now's the fun bit. Now we're going to play with color grading. So we're going to go over into the color tab, which is up here. We're going to come down to the color editor. Now this is where the fun begins. We're going to go into red here, change that hue all the way up. That looks about right there. Then bring up the saturation just a tiny bit. Now, oranges. Change that hue just to keep it just close enough to the red as we can. Saturation, we're going to bring that down just a little bit as well. Next, we come over to our yellows, and we're going to go change the hue because we want to bring back, as I said, the sunrise that was there. Looking nice. I like that a lot. Now, I don't like how much green is in this, so we're just going to pull out the greens as much as possible. It's nice there. Pull out some of the pinks. Okay, so this looks, as you can see, quite orange. It's a bit too much, so we're just going to bring this opacity down. 75 mark, I like that. So you can already see, if we turn that off, just how much warmth brought back into this area. Now the last little adjustments is I'm going to, because the trees are a little bit soft, I'm going to bring back some of the clarity and bring back some of that structure. And if we just go here, you can see now. So if we turn that adjustment layer off, yeah, it's just giving it that little bit extra. Looking good. Now, next, we're going to adjust this water because we don't want the water looking orange because that's just weird. and we're gonna bring over the brush. Now, we're just gonna quickly just brush over here. And I know it looks kind of messy, but hopefully we should be able to go Luma range again. And we're just going to focus in on the water. All we want is the water. So just gonna use that Luma slider until the majority of the rock face is not covered. And then just to clean it up, we're gonna go over to the eraser mask. I will state, if you are enjoying this content so far, why not consider subscribing to join in on the fun and to see more videos like this and adventure videos and shenanigans whenever the opportunity comes up. All right, let's crack back in. So that is now looking like the mask is, and you can always check what your mask is. My shortcut is M. And for the most part, that's pretty good. So from here, we're just going to bring down the adjustment just to give that a little bit more blue. I think that's it. See, it's minimal. It's minimal adjustments, but it's just perfecting it ever so slightly. Great. I'm happy with that. Now, next we're going to be editing one of my favorite pictures that I accidentally took last year. And it is this one right here. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant shot, if I do say so myself. Little Skippy was looking straight at the camera, which was excellent. I was very, very pleased. And we're gonna bring him and the rest of this beautiful landscape to life. So let's begin. Firstly, I'm gonna adjust contrast, because that's my always go-to is a contrast. Bring those shadows up. Bring the highlights down, and now we can see this, but we're going to be getting rid of that. And bring those blacks up a tiny little bit, pull down the whites. Give it a little bit of clarity and some structure. All right. Maybe no clarity. We don't want to overdo it. So next, I'm going to give this a what do you think? What do you think? Portrait or landscape? Let's go a landscape crop for this, because I haven't done a landscape crop on this one before. Firstly, we're going to get rid of this super duper annoying power line. So we're going to go into a healing mask. Now we're going to come up here, make it a little bit smaller, and ever so slightly, just brush along. There we go. Oh, tell you what, it's so intelligent, it gets it wrong every single time, but that's okay. We're going to do that. It's a little bit obvious, but you know, what do you do? What do you do? Oh my god. Oh, it's so good. The healing mask is so smart. What do you think? Okay, so that is as good as we're going to get it. I've tried editing this before and you won't even notice that in a second. So next, to get rid of this bit, we're going to have a brush tool. Just going to brush over this mask. That didn't make sense, but we're going to brush over the sky is what I meant to say. Now, that is looking good. So let's go highlights and pull those highlights just back a bit. And that now covers up the fact that the healing mask did a terrible job. So we're looking good. I like that so far. Now we want to focus on our main subject, because that's what this picture is all about. Skippy. So to do that, we're going to make another adjustment layer, come in to his face, or her face, I don't actually know what gender it was, and we're going to, I have to keep pressing M, and that's just to see what the mask is doing, so that's why the mask is a bit delayed with coming on and off. Okay, now let's go shadows. Pull his face out a bit and blacks a bit. Now the problem with editing up so close is you don't know what it looks like. So always zoom out just to double check that you are not overdoing it. Now, we're going to go back to the base layer right here and go to colors because I want to bring out these Patterson's Curse, they're called. They look pretty, but they're a nightmare if you've got allergies. So that's what we're playing with. So the purple is a majority of it. So maybe just make them a little bit pinker. And now let's just check the before. I should show you also, because this is the most dramatic change, as I said at the very, very start of the video, but I forgot because I got excited because I like the edit, is the waterfall here. Now, check the before, it's pretty drastic. Look at that. Yeah. All right, back to the kangaroo. So I would say the only other little things we want to do is just bring the yellows up a bit, because the yellows are mainly going to be affecting the sunset that we've got here, and obviously the grass. I think this is the best edit I've done on this kangaroo picture ever. The only thing that's really missing, I want to bring some structure back to that landscape. So, brush, the magic brush. M, and there we go. Let's see how well the mask does fix that. Oh, pretty good. Sometimes it works, sometimes it works. See, everything is just those minimal, tiny little adjustments just to make it look as perfect as I perceive it as possible. All right, so that's looking good. Now, just for time's sake, we're gonna just do one more. We'll go with little Kookaburra here, because this one's gonna be an easy one. So, pretty good. He's again looking at me thinking, are you going to eat me? But I wasn't gonna eat the Kookaburra because we don't condone that type of behavior on this channel. Contrast, straight back up, shadows. This is the biggest one because it is quite a dark picture, and pull back those highlights. Now, clarity up a tiny bit, structure up a tiny bit. I will say that the reason I like Capture One over Lightroom and all the others is that I find Capture One handles the Sony RAW image files the best out of all the photo editing software. It just, it controls the highlights, the shadows, the blacks, the whites. It just does it significantly better in my opinion. So that's my opinion. Let me know down below what you think, but I don't know. I love it. I really love Capture One, and you don't have to have a rolling license. You can just buy it once and then that's the end of it. So that's always nice because Adobe doesn't let you do that. Now, okay, that's a good coffee. Okay, so this picture's quite green and yellow, which makes sense because it's a nature picture, but we're just gonna turn down those greens just a bit, and also the yellows, just to give it that little muted, artsy look that people seem to go for. Now, we're in the adjustment layer, and we're going to go into his face, and we're going to adjust just this area here. So press M. Hopefully the auto mask tool will work properly. Let's see what happens. I mean, look, it tried. It tried. It didn't work very well, but it did its best. That is the one problem with Capture One, is that, these tools that they've got, which on paper are great, 50% of the time they work every time. But you just got to, I guess, do it a bit manually, which I'm not upset about doing. And then we're going to go structure, just to give him a little bit more. Now, that's nice. So I could leave that and just go, you know what, that's a nice picture, but we ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do that. Let's go bring you in. Now, by the way, these are all 4x5 crops. I like a 4x5 crop. I'm not sure why. It's just that's my preference, let's say. And I'm just going to bring that in a tighter little crop, just so. We're now focused on Kookaburra, his front, frame, and center. It's muted, but it's in a nice sort of muted way. So now we're going to go adjustment layer 2, and I'm going to get the brush tool, which is B. The shortcut is B, which I haven't mentioned up until now. And we're gonna just slightly brighten up his eye. Just that little bit extra, just so we can see where he's looking. I think that's good. I think I like that. So let's go back to the hand tool, which is H. Turn off the mask, before and after. Very good. I'm happy with that. I'm really, really happy with that. Okay, so that is everything. As I said before, if you did like this video, then why not consider subscribing to see more content such as this. And if you actually liked this specific video, then the like button is down here, and I would very, very much appreciate if you tapped it for me, because it really, really does help out the channel. And I hope that you have a fantastic day or night, whichever time of the day you're watching this. And I will see you, as you guessed, in the next one. Bye for now.